The general public probably has a fairly cynical view of agriculture. Every time they hear about farmers, it's because we want drought relief or flood relief or relief from something because the weather's hurting us. But the fact is, apart from seafood, everything they eat comes from right here. Over there's a crop of margarine, here's a crop of wheat. Their hamburgers are sitting over there, and just over the hill are their pigs and their chooks. What they eat is what we grow. And it's not just a question of filling an empty tummy either. One of the things that's concerning people now is residues, whether it be hormones or heavy metals or some sort of chemical that carries through in food residues. We are the people who apply those chemicals and hormones, and we are the people who test for them. It's not just a matter of adequate food for survival anymore. It's now the quality of food that not only fills the tummy but adds to nutrition and doesn't have any nasty side effects as a result of chemical residues in the body causing cancer or heavy metal poisoning. As a child, I was raised in Port Pirie. I don't want to break a bone. I don't fancy the idea of lead poisoning. But they are the sorts of responsibilities we have in agricultural science, not just to produce the food, but to ensure that the quality of that food is such that there are no hidden health effects. Another reason why the general public should be concerned about agriculture is that we manage probably 70 to 80% of the environment in New South Wales. I don't know the figure Australia-wide, but between grazing and cropping and market gardening, vegetable growing, horticulture, we manage the bulk of the land. Now, one of the impacts of that is food consumption, and therefore how hungry am I, how much can I eat, and what's the quality of that food. The other impact is on environmental management. Agriculture gets the blame for a lot of things. Now, dust storms, 1982, during the millennium drought as well, there were a lot of dust storms, and people saw us as environmental vandals. We need to manage that land for the sake of the whole community. And part of that is conservation farming, such as minimising tillage and retaining stubble as much as possible so that we don't have dust storms. We also need to minimise stubble burning for the sake of the asthmatics in nearby towns. We need to manage our fertilisers and water erosion to minimise the accessions of nitrogen and phosphorus to waterways. Nitrogen promotes algal blooms, phosphorus promotes blue-green algal blooms. They're nitrogen fixers, so they really need just phosphorus. So all those toxic blooms that we get in local waterways, we've had them in the Darling River, we've had them locally at Lake Albert, we've had them even in the Murrumbidgee. That's our responsibility. We have to use nitrogen and phosphorus wisely to keep it on site, both for the sake of the farmer who paid for that fertiliser and for the sake of the community who suffer those off-site effects.